What if I told you that one of the most intimate, emotional, and secretly humorous traditions in the royal family happens behind closed doors, far from the cameras? This isn't about royal balls or state dinners. It's about something more personal, a tradition that keeps the memory of Diana, Princess of Wales, alive in ways that only her closest family know. Ready to uncover it? Let's dive in. Prince Louis is turning 8 years old. At just 8, Louis already exhibits an incredible energy and zest for life. His lively nature, contagious laughter, and spontaneous enthusiasm make him one of the most recognizable members of the royal family. His presence is unmistakable, and his energy seems to have no bounds, particularly when it comes to his birthday celebrations. But there's more to this annual occasion than the cake, the balloons, or the carefully posed photographs that appear on the royal family's official social media accounts. Each year on the 23rd of April, something significant happens inside the Wales household that goes unnoticed by the public. It's not just about the royal family posing for pictures, but about a deeply rooted tradition, one that has become just as essential as the birthday cake itself. This tradition, passed down from Princess Diana, is not just about the gift itself, but about the experience and the bond it fosters during the process of receiving it. Princess Diana, the late Princess of Wales, was known for her deep connection to her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, as well as her close-knit friendships with people outside the royal sphere. Her legacy has had a lasting influence on the Wales family, particularly on how they celebrate birthdays. One particular tradition she initiated, which still continues today, has been quietly carried forward by her closest friends, especially Julia Samuel, one of Diana's dearest friends. Before we dive into the specifics of what happens every year, let's take a moment to reflect on the importance of this momentous occasion. On the 23rd of April this year, Prince Louis Arthur Charles, the third child of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, will turn 8 years old. The significance of this is not lost on those who have been following the Wales family. 8 years ago, Louis made his first public appearance to the world, as his birth was celebrated by millions. His older siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, were already well-known public figures by that point. Since his arrival, Louis has steadily become a beloved member of the royal family, known for his candid and charming public appearances. He's the same boy who, at the Platinum Jubilee pageant in 2022, became a viral sensation by amusingly pulling faces, covering his mother's mouth, and waving enthusiastically from the Buckingham Palace balcony. Louis's effortless charm and wit captivated the global audience, and his antics provided a refreshing glimpse of the royal family's more playful side. The footage of Louis at that event was shared across social media platforms and quickly went viral, with many commenting on his natural showmanship. Louis also stole the spotlight at King Charles III's coronation in 2023, where he was seen whispering secrets to his mother, Princess Catherine. Those precious moments, though not fully revealed to the public, demonstrated the close-knit, warm family dynamic that has long been the hallmark of the Wales household. Despite being at the center of one of the world's most famous families, Louis is raised in a relatively private environment. Prince William and Princess Catherine have made it a priority to keep their children's birthdays, particularly Louis's, private. While the royal family has long been accustomed to public engagements, where every move is captured by photographers and broadcast to the world, the Wales family chooses to retreat and spend the day together. There are no official engagements, no public appearances, and no formal statements, just a family celebrating at home. But within the walls of their home, something else quietly unfolds. It is here that we see the continuation of a long-standing tradition. To truly understand this tradition, we must look back at who Princess Diana was beyond her public image. Diana was known for her warmth, kindness, and sense of humor. Her relationships with close friends were marked by trust, love, and a shared sense of lightheartedness that transcended the formalities of royal life. Diana loved to laugh, not just the poised, royal laugh that was reserved for public appearances, but the genuine, spontaneous laughter that came when she was with her trusted friends. One of Diana's closest friends was Julia Samuel. Their bond was forged through years of shared experiences, both joyous and difficult. After Diana's tragic passing in 1997, Julia became a crucial figure in the lives of Diana's children, Prince William and Prince Harry. Julia's role as a friend, confidant, divisor extended into the next generation as well, as she became a godmother to Prince George and has remained a close family friend to this day. She has continued the tradition that Diana initiated, a tradition that, in many ways, honors Diana's spirit. When Diana would give gifts to the children of her closest friends, including Julia's own children, she didn't opt for the typical toys or presents. Diana deliberately selected gifts that were inconvenient for the adults, noisy toys that required hours of assembly, filled with more pieces than anyone could possibly need. The instruction manuals, often translated so poorly, were sometimes unintelligible. Yet despite all this, the gifts were always flashy, exciting, and utterly irresistible to children. The point was never simply the toy itself. The real point was the experience. Diana found immense joy in watching the adults struggle to assemble these gifts, creating moments of chaos that were sure to end in shared laughter. After Diana's death, Julia Samuel continued this tradition, choosing deliberately complex, noisy toys that required considerable effort to assemble for the children in her life. As her connection to the Wales family grew, particularly through her godmother role for Prince George, this tradition passed down to the next generation: Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Julia Samuel, speaking on the How to Fail podcast, reflected on this tradition with amusement and affection, describing how these toys require not just time but patience. William spends days putting them together. Days, not hours, days, Julia said with a knowing smile. She said it with the energy of someone who has seen this play out time and time again, and who is committed to continuing the tradition for as long as possible. So what exactly does this look like? Prince William, a future king, a man who has led military operations and flown helicopters, spends days assembling toys on the floor of his home, surrounded by plastic pieces and instruction manuals. This annual event is one of the rare times when the royal family steps away from their public roles and engages in a more relatable human experience. The rest of the family, Catherine, George, and Charlotte, watch the assembly process unfold. But they are not there to help. Rather, they find it all quite amusing, enjoying the spectacle of William, who is fully aware of the chaos that is unfolding around him, quietly and dutifully continuing with the task. Louis, the recipient of this gift, watches eagerly, knowing that the toy he's been waiting for is almost ready, but not quite there yet. The gift is not just a toy, it is an experience, one that Louis will cherish for years to come. The waiting, the anticipation, the joy of finally receiving the gift after days of watching his father assemble it. These are the moments that become etched in his memory. One day, Louis will remember these birthdays, not just because of the gifts he received, but because of the experience of waiting for them to be finished, and the love and laughter that accompanied the entire process. This, in essence, is Diana's gift, her legacy, passed down through Julia Samuel's careful nurturing of a tradition that keeps her memory alive. This tradition is more than just a family ritual. It's a testament to how the Wales family keeps Diana's memory alive for the next generation. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis never met Diana, but they know her through the stories their father tells them, the memories he shares, and the way he has worked hard to make sure his children understand who she was as a person, not as an abstract icon, but as a mother, a friend, and a woman who loved life. Every year, when Julia Samuel brings that noisy, complicated gift, she is not just giving Louis a toy. She is bringing Diana into the room, her humor, her mischief, and her deep affection for the people she loved. As we watch Louis grow and the Wales family continue this tradition, we are reminded that behind the pomp and ceremony of royal life, there are moments of pure humanity. The private birthday celebrations, the laughter, and the shared joy are what make the Wales family so relatable and beloved by millions around the world. On April 23rd, Prince Louis will turn 8, and while the world will see the official photograph, a portrait of a smiling, happy child, the rest of the celebration, the private moments of family joy will remain hidden from public view. These moments, from Catherine baking the birthday cake late into the night, to William assembling the toy, to Louis eagerly awaiting his gift, belong to the Wales family alone. And that's exactly as it should be. These are the small, intimate acts of love that make family life real, and they remind us that even in the most formal and scrutinized of lives, there are moments of pure joy, laughter, and connection. When Diana, Princess of Wales, chose gifts for the children of her close friends, including Julia Samuel's own children, she had an uncanny ability to pick presents that would, in a very specific way, make life challenging, but also incredibly memorable for the adults involved. Diana didn't opt for typical simple gifts that could easily be wrapped and presented. Instead, she deliberately selected toys that were intentionally complex and inconvenient, especially for the parents tasked with assembling them. These were toys that were noisy, difficult to assemble, and often arrived in boxes packed with more pieces than anyone would expect, often with the final result being loud, flashy, and utterly irresistible to children. For instance, when Diana gave gifts to her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, in their childhood, she was known for giving them intricate toys that required assembly, some of which involved hundreds of pieces. One such gift was a particularly complicated train set, which required hours of assembly. Diana also gave her sons large-scale toys that were intended to both captivate their imaginations and challenge the adults who had to piece them together. And it wasn't just about the toy itself. The whole point was that the assembly process was an experience in itself. The instruction manuals, often translated through several languages before reaching English, were famously confusing, and these overly complex toys came with a level of difficulty that guaranteed moments of frustration, but also laughter. The toys weren't just noisy, They were designed to be over the top in terms of size, complexity, and most importantly, the amount of time it took to put them together. The toy sets often came with thousands of pieces, leading some reports to describe the assembly process as a test of patience. A good example of this kind of gift was the toy train set given to Prince William, which featured multiple tracks, complicated layouts, and moving parts. According to royal insiders, such toys were a regular part of Diana's gift-giving strategy, reflecting her sense of humor and how she approached the challenge of maintaining a normal family atmosphere for her sons despite their royal status. This was a deliberate effort on her part to make their childhood as fun and relatable as possible, and to give them experiences that were full of laughter and joy. The point of these gifts wasn't the toys themselves, it was the experience of the gift, specifically watching the adults struggle to assemble them. Diana, who had spent much of her life navigating public scrutiny, immense pressure, and personal grief, found joy in creating moments that allowed her family to laugh together. She loved the chaos and the shared moments of difficulty that would inevitably lead to light-hearted laughter. In a life so often dictated by formal expectations, these gifts became a way for Diana to deliberately infuse her family life with fun, spontaneity, and even a little mischief. For example, when Diana was planning for a birthday or special occasion, her gift-giving was often accompanied by an elaborate joke. The parents would be given a toy that required hours, sometimes days, to assemble. This provided her with the perfect opportunity to witness the amusing spectacle of adults trying to piece together something that, by the time it was finished, would be completely worth the effort for the children. Diana loved this. It was not just about the gift, but about creating the environment where people could come together, laugh at their struggles, and share in a memorable experience. After Diana's tragic death in 1997, Julia Samuel, a close confidant and one of Diana's dearest friends, carried on this tradition. Julia, who had been a trusted advisor and friend to Diana during some of the most challenging years of her life, took it upon herself to continue choosing toys that were just as noisy, just as complex, and just as difficult to assemble. Julia's connection to Diana's children, particularly through her role as godmother to Prince George, meant that this tradition naturally extended to the next generation: Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and now Prince Louis. Julia Samuel, who has spoken publicly about her close relationship with Diana and the bond she shares with the Wales family, described these gifts in a way that is both humorous and revealing. On the How to Fail podcast, Julia shared her memories of these challenging yet endearing toys. With a laugh, she described how noisy the toys were and how much time it took to put them together. "They really take a lot of making," she said with a knowing smile, almost as if she were imparting a family secret. Her tone indicated she had seen this process unfold many times, and with no intention of stopping, she continued to uphold this cherished tradition. Julia's role as a godmother to Prince George, and now her involvement with Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, has allowed her to pass this ritual down, ensuring at the joy and chaos Diana once introduced remain part of the Wales family legacy. This tradition has become something more than just a quirky family custom. It's a way to honor Diana's memory each year. The toys, which may seem like a source of chaos on the surface, are actually a method of celebrating Diana's spirit. The act of assembling the toy is about much more than following a set of instructions. It's about continuing a legacy that, in many ways, allows Diana's memory to live on in the lives of her children and grandchildren. It's also about keeping the family together in a shared experience, where laughter, patience, and love play a key role in every part of the process. In fact, it's this very legacy of laughter, mischief, and togetherness that the Wales family has embraced. As each generation continues to experience this tradition, it becomes a defining part of their family culture. For example, every year as Prince William finds himself on the floor, surrounded by pieces and instruction manuals, assembling a toy for his youngest child, Louis, it's a quiet moment of connection. Despite the royal duties, the public appearances, and the formality that often defines their lives, these moments of shared laughter and love are a reminder of the deep bond they share. And perhaps most poignantly for Prince William, the act of assembling the toys each year is a tribute to his late mother, Diana, a way of reconnecting with the playful, mischievous spirit that she instilled in him during his own childhood. This annual ritual has become part of the fabric of the Wales family's private celebrations. It's something they look forward to, a way of remembering Diana while creating new memories. Whether it's the grand gestures of royal life or the simple, chaotic joy of assembling a noisy toy, these moments of connection make up the intimate, human side of the Wales family, something they cherish and protect away from the public eye. Every year when the gift arrives, the noisy one, the complex one, the one that requires days of assembly, the children eagerly await the finished product. They may not yet fully understand the significance of the tradition, but they are living it in real time, learning to appreciate the fun, the anticipation, and the love that comes with it. And in years to come, when they look back, they will not just remember the toy. They will remember the experience, the assembly, the waiting, the excitement, and most of all, the laughter. Diana's legacy lives on not only through the stories told about her, but also in these small, repeated acts of love and connection. It's through these moments, the noisy toys, the hours of assembly, and the shared family laughter, that Diana's influence continues to be felt by future generations. The tradition she began with her own children has now extended to her grandchildren, carried forward by those who loved her most, ensuring that her spirit remains a central part of the Wales family's celebrations. And then Julia Samuel added something that perfectly completed the picture. William spends days putting them together. Days, not hours, days. Let that sink in. Prince William, the future King of England, a man who has piloted military aircraft, led air ambulance operations, and handled countless high-pressure situations, spends days on the floor, surrounded by plastic parts, pictorial instructions, and boxes filled with what must seem like an endless number of components, trying to assemble a toy for his youngest child. This is a man who has faced some of the most intense and demanding situations imaginable. William has served in the Royal Air Force, where he was a trained pilot for both helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. He led air ambulance operations, where lives were often at risk and decisions had to be made in seconds. Yet here he is, a father, diligently working on a toy, one small piece at a time, often with more determination than one might expect. A royal's daily routine. Prince William's military career, which spanned from 2005 to 2013, included over 500 hours of operational flying time, and he served as a flight lieutenant in the RAF Search and Rescue Force, where his crew saved countless lives. Yet despite this intense training and experience, William finds himself, year after year, engrossed in the seemingly mundane task of assembling toys for his children. It is, however, a task full of meaning, the kind of labor of love that families across the world experience, albeit in a royal household. And the rest of the family, they find this situation nothing short of hilarious. Catherine, who has likely witnessed this spectacle year after year, watches from a comfortable distance, smiling with amusement. She, like any mother, knows that the assembly process is in a way a part of the bonding experience, a playful tradition that keeps Diana's spirit alive. George and Charlotte, with their characteristic sibling focus, probably observe why. Intense, quiet interest, and, as is often the case with children, they have no intention of offering any help. The Wales children are no strangers to media attention. Prince George, born in 2013, was photographed during his first public appearance on the steps of the Lindo Wing at St Mary's Hospital in London at just 23 hours old. Princess Charlotte followed in 2015 and Louis in 2018. Despite their royal status, they live under a very specific set of rules, and this private family time is one of the rare moments when they can enjoy a regular, chaotic family tradition, just like any other child. Louis, the recipient of the gift, eagerly watches his father's every move, his excitement growing with each passing moment. He knows that the toy is almost ready, and the anticipation only adds to the thrill. The scene is chaotic, loud, and undeniably perfect for Louis, a boy full of energy who delights in the uncontainable noise and mess that comes with his birthday gift. The children of the Wales family have been in the public eye since birth, and yet their childhoods are carefully shielded from the press. Their birthdays are kept private, and the family often retreats to their private home in Anmer Hall, Norfolk, to enjoy time together without the prying eyes of the public. Royal traditions and privacy. Unlike many royal families in Europe who often stage public celebrations for their children, William and Catherine have made it clear that their children will have as private an upbringing as possible. While this doesn't stop the media from capturing every public moment, including George's first day of school at Thomas's Battersea in 2017, or Charlotte's first birthday, the family still fiercely protects their home life. They cherish their time at Anmer Hall, which is located in the idyllic Norfolk countryside, away from the hustle and bustle of London. This sanctuary allows them to hold on to their family traditions, such as Louis's birthday gift assembly, away from public scrutiny. At first glance, this tradition may seem like a light-hearted anecdote about royal birthday celebrations. And yes, it is that a moment of levity in an otherwise formal and scrutinized life, but it's also much more than that. It is a profound, tangible connection to the past, to the memory of a beloved family member who is no longer physically present but whose influence continues to shape the family. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis never met Diana. She passed away long before any of them were born. Diana died in 1997, and at the time of her death, Prince William was just 15 years old. George was born in 2013, Charlotte in 2015, and Louis in 2018, long after Diana's tragic passing. Yet through stories, photographs, and the way their father speaks about her, the Wales children have come to know her. Diana's legacy and William's role as a father. William has spoken candidly about how difficult it was, in the years following her death, to talk about his mother. In a 2017 interview with ITV, William admitted that it took time for him to be able to speak about Diana without feeling overwhelmed with grief. He said, "It's a life of ups and downs. You have to be strong, and over time you find a way to cope with it, but you can never forget." William's public acknowledgement of his mother's death and his efforts to share her memory with his children highlight the deep bond he continues to feel for her. But he has worked hard to make sure that his children understand Diana, not just as an abstract figure or cultural icon, but as a person. A mother who laughed, who played, who was mischievous, and who loved others in very specific personal ways. William's own words in a 2020 BBC interview reflect this. "I want to ensure that my children know the real Diana, the mother, the person, not just the princess." Through these small acts, like assembling toys with Louis, he makes sure Diana's memory is lived and felt, not only in words but in actions. This is where the birthday tradition becomes something truly profound. Every year when Julia Samuel brings that box, the one with too many pieces, too much noise and far too much assembly, she is not simply delivering a toy. No, she is bringing Diana into the room. The chaos, the inconvenience, the laughter, all of it belongs to Diana. The loud, complex toys, which have often been described as engineering marvels by the royal family staff, aren't just about amusing the children. They are a way to keep Diana's mischievous, loving spirit alive in the next generation. The gifts and their meaning. Julia Samuel, the godmother to Prince George and a close confidant of William, has continued this tradition with full knowledge of what it represents. When she gives Louis these toys, she is also giving him a tangible piece of Diana. The mischief that comes with the difficulty of the gift, the inconvenience that leads to laughter and bonding, all belong to Diana's memory, the whale. Family has maintained this tradition year after year, showing just how deeply Diana's legacy impacts the way they live and the way they parent. And when William spends those days assembling the toy, he is not merely working on a gift for his son. He is participating in a tradition that carries Diana's spirit forward, into a new generation, into a new home with new faces. The tradition that Diana began with her sons, William and Harry, is now being passed down to Louis, George, and Charlotte. The role of traditions in the royal family. According to royal tradition expert and historian Kate Williams, such practices help solidify family identity and keep a sense of normalcy in a life constantly under the media microscope. She has pointed out, traditions like these allow families to feel connected to their past while creating meaningful experiences for future generations. For the Wales family, these private moments, though small, are deeply significant in keeping Diana's memory alive. This tradition is so much more than just a royal quirk. It's a living, breathing testament to Diana's influence on her children. As William spends those hours assembling a noisy, complicated toy, he is not just recreating a moment from his childhood. He is reaffirming Diana's place in their family's life. He's ensuring that Diana's mischievous joy, the joy she found in making life a little less predictable and a lot more fun, continues to echo in the halls of their home. And through this, Louis, George, and Charlotte will come to understand who Diana was, not just through stories and photographs, but through the very act of creating something together, a memory that will be passed down from one generation to the next. It is a reminder that traditions are about more than just repetition, they are about connection. And this tradition, more than any other, keeps Diana's memory alive in the most tangible way possible, not just through the toys themselves, but through the laughter, the chaos, and the family bond that it strengthens every year. Through these small, repeated acts of love and togetherness, Diana's legacy lives on not just in words, but in actions that carry her spirit forward. The experience of assembling the toy, the anticipation of Louis waiting for it to be completed, the laughter that follows, all of it is a small but real tribute to Diana. It's not just about the toy. It's about the legacy she left behind, one that has been carried forward in the Wales family through meaningful traditions, which live on year after year. The tradition of assembling complicated toys may seem simple, but it's a connection to the past, to Diana's spirit, and it transcends generations. The Wales family is known for preserving certain private traditions, despite their high-profile public lives. On April 23rd, when Prince Louis turns 8, the world will see a photograph of him. Catherine, who has become an accomplished photographer over the years, will capture him in a moment of pure joy with his infectious smile and boundless energy. In fact, Catherine has been taking the royal children's birthday photographs for years, and these photos have become a tradition in their own right. In 2022, Catherine's photograph of Prince George was widely shared, receiving thousands of likes and comments across the world. According to People magazine, Catherine's photography has received praise for its warmth and natural feel. Her portraits are often candid, allowing the world to glimpse into their family dynamic. Catherine, much like Diana before her, has embraced capturing moments of authenticity, moments that aren't as carefully staged as many people might expect from a royal family. In 2016, it was reported that Catherine, before she even became a royal, had an interest in photography, and even studied it at the University of St. Andrews. This talent has allowed her to create a more personal, intimate connection with her children's milestones, despite their royal status. When Louis's photograph is released, the internet will react, as it always does. People will comment on how quickly he's growing, with some pointing out how much he looks like William, and others commenting on his resemblance to his grandmother, Diana. Studies have shown that the public's fascination with royal children has only increased in recent years. A 2019 report from the Royal UK Study revealed that royal family members have gained an increasing amount of social media engagement, especially in the case of Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. As with all public figures, the royal children are regularly compared to their parents and to their late family members. The internet's tendency to examine the resemblances is simply part of the royal phenomenon that captures the world's imagination. However, while the world will see that beautiful, smiling photograph, they won't see the rest of it. They won't see Catherine, up late on the 22nd of April, Phoenix, hing the birthday cake, likely the same one she baked herself, as she has done for every birthday of the children so far. In 2018, Catherine revealed in an interview with BBC Radio 1 that she bakes the birthday cakes for her children herself, rather than outsourcing the task to a professional bakery or palace chefs. This personal touch is a subtle way for Catherine to maintain a sense of normalcy, showing her children that despite their royal status, some things remain grounded in personal effort and familial care. They won't see Louis's face when he opens the gift, that moment when the joy of the toy is almost as big as the excitement of seeing what's inside the box. And they won't see William, fully aware of the daunting task ahead of him, sitting on the floor surrounded by pieces, desperately trying to put it all together. In fact, some of the toys that Julia Samuel has gifted over the years have required such intricate assembly that it has been said that some sets involve up to 200 pieces, and often take hours, sometimes even days, to put together. A royal family insider confirmed that these elaborate toys have been a consistent source of both amusement and slight frustration for William each year. As royal family biographer Andrew Morton wrote in Diana, her true story, Diana enjoyed creating moments that could take a man off guard, showing her sense of humor and fun, even in the most unlikely situations. They won't see the family quietly watching, laughing, and living out this tradition that belongs to them alone, and that's exactly how it should be. Some moments, despite being royal, are meant to remain private. This tradition, the cake, the assembly, the laughter, belongs to the family and should be preserved in its own space, away from public scrutiny. It's a simple but powerful reminder that despite their public roles, the Wales family also enjoys private moments of joy, rooted in love, humor, and connection. The act of assembling the toy every year is about more than just a tradition. It's about preserving Diana's legacy in the most personal way possible. Diana, Princess of Wales, who passed away in 1997, remains one of the most beloved figures in British history. According to a 2020 YouGov poll, 76% of British people still viewed Diana in a positive light, long after her death. This is a testament to her enduring influence and the deep impact she had on her family, as well as the public. Prince William has been incredibly thoughtful and deliberate in how he keeps his mother's memory alive for his children. It's not through grand speeches or televised tributes, but in simple everyday acts of love and connection. In 2017, during a visit to Canada, William shared how he had made sure his children understand the real Diana, not as a distant figure or cultural icon, but as a mother who loved, laughed, and lived life with a sense of mischief. "I want my children to understand who she was and what she stood for," William said. "They know the story of her, they know who she was, and I want them to know how much she loved them." The noisy toys, the chaotic assembly, all of these have become powerful ways to keep Diana's spirit alive. It's through these moments that Louis, George, and Charlotte will learn about Diana's mischief, her joy, and her ability to make life more playful, something that continues to bond the family in ways the public doesn't see. These simple acts of assembling a toy don't just maintain a tradition, they ensure that Diana's legacy continues to thrive within the family. So on April 23rd, when Prince Louis turns 8, somewhere a box is waiting filled with pieces for his gift. Somewhere Prince William is already preparing himself for what comes next, the hours of assembly, the laughter, and the inevitable chaos that will fill the house. We will see the photograph, the smiling Louis caught in a candid moment of joy. But the rest of it, the cake, the instructions, the laughter, and the spirit of Diana in the room, belongs to the family. And honestly, that's exactly how it should be. Traditions like this, the simple, repeated acts of love, are what keep people alive in our memories. They go beyond the grand gestures and the big celebrations. They live in the quiet moments, the ones shared behind closed doors, in the small rituals that we hold dear. If this story moved you, share it with someone who understands the depth of what it means to keep someone alive through these small, repeated acts of love. What traditions do you have in your family that started with someone who's no longer here? Let's talk about it. But what if I told you this tradition isn't just about royalty? What if your family has something equally meaningful, something passed down from generations past? Click below and share your own family tradition that's kept alive by love and laughter. Let's talk about how the small things, the repeated, quiet gestures, can keep a person's memory alive for years to come. Don't leave yet, I want to hear from you. Now, what traditions do you have in your family that started with someone who's no longer here? It doesn't have to be as dramatic as assembling a noisy toy, but I guarantee there's something, a small act, a moment of connection that keeps their spirit alive. Share it with me in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going because these are the kinds of stories that truly matter.